So we're going on in No Peace Without Honor, the Dutch War, to the year 1677. It happens to be turn 6. And so with the event phase, the card that was drawn by the French is Turkish threat. So basically, Turkey is now causing concern to Austria. So the effect of the card is to have Lorraine and two corps from the empire moved off map to deal with this threat. And they are put on the turn track, and they will return as a reinforcement in 1678 on turn 7. The Dutch war weariness also increases to 3, so the combined is now 10. Then the Dutch player reveals his event, It's Swedish Alliance. This isn't good for the Dutch either. And there's a Swedish alliance with the French, so Frederick Wilhelm and two Empire Corps have to go to the turn track to kind of deal with Sweden for a year, also returning on turn 7 in 1678. So the problem with this is that in my game, Frederick Wilhelm is already off map from another event, and now he is supposed to come on as a reinforcement, but reinforcements haven't happened yet. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to delay his entry for another turn or not. But the French war weariness increases +1, so they're up to 8 now, which triggers tax riots. The Dutch war weariness also increases due to this event to 4, so the combined is now 12. So the tax riots basically are now reducing the French replacements by 2 in this case because of board circumstances. And so they're only going to be getting 4 replacement points per turn, as are the Dutch. The way I decided to resolve the conundrum about Wilhelm is he's not on the map, but the idea is he's due to come on this time, but he's got a problem in Sweden. So I'm going to just say that, staying with the spirit of the intent of this event, he is now busy. And the unfortunate thing is you have a threat from the Ottomans, the Turks. You have a threat from the Turks at the same time as you now have a threat from Sweden. So that is very unfortunate for the empire. But that's how I decided to resolve it. So now both Lorraine and Frederick Wilhelm will come back next turn as a reinforcement in 1678. So then I had both sides expend their 4 replacement points to bring either new corps on or to bring corps that are already on up to full strength. So going on to the first action round of the 1677 turn, the French are following the same strategy. They are going to try to besiege Nijmegen again, as well as Colonia. So Turenne moves his forces into Nijmegen to begin a siege, and the Dutch forces there decide to enter the fortress again. Then Luxembourg also marches his force into Colonia and wants to besiege there, and here Prince William enters the fortress. But it's really noticeable the lack of supporting cast with Wilhelm and the other leader that had to depart, Lorraine. So this is going to be a tight turn for the Dutch. Then in round 1, the Dutch try to do a diversion by having the leader and 2 corps move up into the Empire box and pose a little bit of a threat. You can see that here. Then on to round 2, we actually make a siege attempt in Nijmegen. The French has a Turenne there with a +1 modifier, and it's no effect. A second op is used to conduct a siege at Colonia. There's no modifier for this one. And the result is 1 loss to the French, 2 to the Dutch. So I've now placed a continued siege marker on both of those places. Then in round 2, the Dutch have their Austrian leader and 2 corps from the Empire move into Koblenz, where they're going to besiege that. But the French unnamed leader, the 1-4 with Army B, decides to intercept and rolls high and is successful. So this is an open field battle. The French take no losses. The Dutch actually do suffer a loss, and then they retreat demoralized back into the Empire home. So that didn't work out so well as I was hoping. Then in round 3, the French use operations again and continue the siege at Nijmegen, and they get a very good result this time. 1 loss to the French, 4 to the Dutch. So the fortress is completely wiped out in their defenses, and 2 corps are flipped to their reduced side. A second siege attempt is made at Colonia, but this one has no effect, but they do have the 1 marker for the continuation in this fight, but it wasn't good enough. The Dutch try to rally some of their demoralized troops as well. Then we go to round 4. The French continue their siege at Nijmegen. This time they have a 3 modifier, and the result is 1 loss to the French, 3 losses to the Dutch. So Nijmegen is very close to falling. Then there is a siege continuing at Colonia with a 2 modifier. There's 1 loss to the French, 3 to the Dutch. And Colonia is still somewhat held, but the Dutch use their operation to continue to rally, and then they use another point to make a transfer move. Then in round 5, unfortunately, the French only have 1 operation card, so they decide to go after Nijmegen with a +3 modifier, and the result is 1 loss to the French, 3 to the Dutch, and Nijmegen falls. So that gives 2 victory points to the French, dropping it down, I believe, to 3 victory points. Then we go to the Dutch. There's not much for them to do, so I go to the winter quarters, and here the French weariness is still +1 because of England, and it goes up to 9. And unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention, but it results in Portugal going to war. And even though they had been friendly to the French, they're now starting to worry about the French. So they get an unnamed leader and a corps deployed in Lisbon. And the Dutch increase their replacement points by 1 up to 5, and the combined war weariness is now 13. Then Luxembourg retreats from Colonia back into Liège to recover, and of course the troops in Colonia also are going to work on their recovery, and that will bring the 1677 turn to an end, and we will go on to 1678. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.